Hey, yo, welcome back. Episode 2. Fair warning, this episode I kind of ramble a bit. I talk about how I'm gonna read through people's rule books. If any of you guys are interested in, if you're making a game, other designers, if you have rule books and want to send them my way, just let me know, email or comment or whatever, and I'll be posting those episodes on the main channel at SpikeHat Games. So I kind of talk about that for a while, but I still think it's interesting to go through, even if you're not a game designer and you're just curious on what I have to say. Again, just trying to make more awareness for SpikeHat Games and what we're doing with our first game here, Sea Dogs and Scallywags, and hopefully you guys enjoy some of the terrible gameplay here as well. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. I wish I were recording. I don't know why I wasn't recording. I literally was about to hit record, and I heard somebody outside of my room, and I didn't want to record and pick up their audio, their conversation, and I played one game, and of course, it just had to be the messiest. It was like, this is traditional Rocket League teammates here. And this is episode 2, and we're going over another replay, although I said we're not going to do that. Yeah, hopefully this series is going to be mostly me playing live, but we're watching my teammate right here. You see me over there on the other orange side. And of course left goes, but at the beginning of every game, I don't know why, when I join into a lobby, I lag pretty bad. And I told my teammate, since, you know, these are equidistant starting points here for kickoff, I said in the chat, go for it. And he responded with no, okay? So that was that. That's what happened. Maybe my teammate was really upset because I asked him to go. I don't know, but just watch this minute here, okay? Because this is ridiculous. First of all, look at this guy's camera settings. He's in space, all right? Or he's not even in space. He's like at the edge of the world because he's so far from his car, and he's like flat, looking at the butt of his car here. And those wheels too, atrocious. I'm sorry, I have to call him out. I just have to. Anyway, here we go. First miss right here. All right, boom. I have to make the save. Whatever. Oh man, this guy. I'll tell you when the first chat. First of all, look at this. Okay, wide open net. Let's give it to the other team. Here it comes, right here. He spams OK in the chat right there. Look, he stops playing. He stops playing. He spams OK in the chat. I don't even remember what I don't even know if I responded. Okay, there we go. I have to make another save. All right. Thankfully, he gets in the way of that one. I mean, this honestly looks like Diamond 2 gameplay. And granted, I am in champ right now. Here, he passes it off to the other team again. Luckily, they don't capitalize. And we're just gonna. It's 20 seconds here, or I'll show you the next part. Okay, right here. Right here. Look. And then I go for it. He's nowhere to be seen. He spams OK. He spams OK. And then when they score, right here, I don't even know what happens. Look at this. Okay, yeah, great. I'm not even playing, by the way, at this point. Look, you see me in the corner. Not even playing. Not even playing because he keeps spamming OK and wow and whatever. Look at this, though. Look at this from my point of view. All right, he has 36 boost. Oh, there was a glitch. Alright, he had 12 boost. Alright. He has 12 boost. Instead of going mid and picking up a few pads, and then even calling it out here or anything, I go for it and he spams OK. Let's look at it from my point of view. First of all, nowhere to be seen. Alright, here we go. Alright, I'm putting it mid. He's nowhere to be seen. Of course, I'm not using my right stick here to actually see where he's at, which I probably should have done earlier so I can just cut in, but I was like, alright, he should be going. Nowhere to be seen. Still not there. Where's he at? Way back here. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just cut in and hopefully get a blocker or whatever. He spams OK, and we have to stop. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Washed. I'm washed. I can't carry, but let's get into the first game. Alright, here we go. Blue. Favorite side, of course. You know what's really interesting is a statistic came out saying that in Rocket League, out of all games played, you know, I think there's been like some crazy amount, like 2 billion games played. I could be way wrong. I mean, it's obviously millions, but it's a high number, and the statistic is that 48% of the time orange wins and 52% of the time blue wins, which is like really statistically significant, because with so many games played, it should be a lot closer to 50-50 here. Oops. Oh, he's grabbing that. Go. Yeah, like 48% and 52% is huge for the margin that of games that have been played, like the population or the sample size, population, whatever. And so a lot of people, or I've just seen like a Reddit thread or a video about how, please tell me that's in, no, about how, like, why that would be the case. I should, like, it could be psychological. A lot of people like darker cars. Like, the orange side is very light. Oh, that was bad. I don't know. It's just something to think about. That is kind of crazy, though. A 48%, 52% over billions of games where it, you know, obviously there should be no advantage to what color you are, but, you know, I think maybe it's weird because the color blue is more of a calmer color than, like, maybe looking at the orange, maybe looking at the orange makes you more aggressive. So when you're on the orange team, you're looking at blue. I've also heard that maybe the blue color kind of obscures the ball a bit more. It's harder to see. It's like, it's something you would never think of just ordinarily playing, right? But it is funny, or it's curious. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We're talking about SpikeHat Games. We've, like I said in the previous episode, we've hit a bit of a lull in gathering interest in our game, and like I also said before, we are going to Proto Spiel in Madison, which hopefully we can do a lot of networking there. But other than that, it's the content that's being made that needs to step up. Like, I've started making more Instagram reels, which I can just, I mean, clearly you can see the numbers, do a lot better than just Instagram posts. So I'm thinking about posting a lot more content there. Let me know if you guys would be interested in, like, board game reviews. I mean, I'm gonna do that either way, I guess, but I guess it's maybe the way that I do it, whether it's long form content or short. I saw a video recently saying that like, it's not technically long or short form content that is better or worse than the other, but the YouTube algorithm is helping or encouraging videos that are kind of like one-offs. So again, opposite of what I'm doing here, which is like a series. This was actually a Minecraft YouTuber that went over the case that these, like, Minecraft Let's Plays, where you follow people just playing the game of Minecraft and following them in their world or whatever. Like, they're kind of maybe it's the popularity of them, or whatever it is, the interest in them, or YouTube's interest in them has diminished, where videos now should be one-offs, or it's almost like one big project, and you kind of, it's unique, right? It's a unique video, unique maybe idea or concept, which is hard to do because it kind of goes against what, like, content creation is all about. Like, just like I was saying in the last video, in the previous episode, you need consistency in both content and like timing as well, right? Posting every week or posting every week, or just having a consistent schedule and being reliable to your followers, right? People are going to lose interest if you don't show interest in them, right? It's a two-way street, and that's what I see. What I love about SpikeHat Games is that everyone who shows interest in our games, especially if they're other designers, like I have a lot of interest in other people's games as well. So you would think that it would go both ways, or that would be easier to accumulate maybe a following, or like some sort of interest where you're showing interest in other people's games as well, in those communities. And maybe I haven't done the greatest job of doing that either, like showing my interest. But I mean, I've been on Board Game Geek. I've made posts. I actually made a recent post that I'll talk about in Game 2 here once we get there. Back on blue. We got the edge. Alright, Game 2. What I was saying was, I made a post on Board Game Geek talking about how I would love to read other people's drafts of their rule books and make edits or give my suggestions on them. That's something, it's hard to say I'm passionate about that. But I kind of am. Like, it's a very nerdy thing, but I just like writing in general, and rule books, I don't know, they're just so interesting to me because, first of all, I love games, and again, I like writing and the communication part of it, where how do we make it as efficient as possible where people are understanding our game. When you're making a rule book, the rule book should be both simple, but encompassing all of the rules so that in any circumstance in your game, people can understand what to do, right? Now, that's not always going to be the case. That it almost can't be, unless it is just a crazy simple game. Unless it's a crazy simple game, there's no way that your game can be like, if it's let's just take the extreme, a very, very complex game. There's no way your rulebook can be extremely simple and encompassing all the different situations and scenarios. For example, I play Gloomhaven, right? And that's a very, very hefty rulebook. And I could be wrong. It's definitely over 40 pages. I want to say it's like 60 pages of rulebook. I really do. I almost want to say 80, but that might be the sequel, Frosthaven. But those rulebooks still can't include every single scenario that you're going to encounter. And you kind of just have to go with the flow at that point. At that point, your goal should be making a rulebook where, like, it is clear to the players what you should be doing. And, oh my gosh, that would have been a peak goal if maybe my teammate didn't hit that and I scored. Oh, wait. Oh! Alright. Okay. We're back in it. Oh. What was I saying? What I was saying was that in a rulebook, you're not gonna capture everything. People are still gonna have. That was horrible, but we score. People are still gonna have questions, and it's not gonna. Again, like, games have online forums and frequently asked questions on their websites and whatnot for very complex games. But when that occurs, your goal should be to, or when you have a very complex game, and even not the most complex ever, just when something is like mid-level complexity, where you might need a few pages in a rule book to explain the game, then you need to, your goal should be creating a rule book where you explain every aspect of the game, except for all the minor exceptions that would need like a graphic or a gameplay example to explain. Okay, gameplay examples and more graphics and pictures are great, but what does that do? That adds levels of complexity to your rulebook. Okay, and you don't want that. What you want is something that maybe shows one or two examples in gameplay in game, and oh no, and nothing. Obviously it depends game to game, but when you have too much, it over complicates the rulebook, and it's going to be way too much. Okay, so when those situations arise, you still want. Why is my teammate not playing? When those situations occur, you want your players to be well equipped in understanding what they think they should do, and if they don't know exactly what to do, they should make a decision where they still feel good playing the game, where it feels intuitive. Okay, you want rare situations to feel intuitive to your players. That's what a rulebook should do. It just, especially with complex games, it can't encompass every single situation. So you need it to be in a place where your players are comfortable playing the game in any circumstance, okay? Where they're making decisions. And they might think, I don't know if this is right, but this feels right, we should play this way. Alright, let's get into game 3. Last game. Aw, shucks. Oh, shucks. Look at that. See my ping? I spike at the beginning of every game. So yeah, that's your basics and rule books. Apart from the rules explanation of it, I'm very interested in making that seamless and easy to understand rule book. Okay, and the way you do that is by not only making use of like, not obviously they're not literary devices, and I want to like almost call them writing devices, but I don't know what the right term is for them, but like bold and italics and headers, right? Like these, whatever those are called, those are very, very useful. Highlighting. Now you don't want to overdo it, right? You don't want to. You don't want your rule book to be just scattered with bold and italics and capitalizations and whatnot. Then it again becomes too confusing. What you want to do is have certain key terms that are either always bolded. What is this guy talking about? You want certain key terms that are always bolded or are linked to wherever they show up in your rulebook. So let's say you have an action item let's say you have an action item that's like draw cards, right? And that's really important, and there's maybe a certain methodology to drawing cards, like how you do it or when you do it. If you believe that it should be like always bolded or highlighted or italicized because it is important, then you should stay consistent with that. Whoa, that was weird. And wherever you see draw cards, then you need that bolded in your rulebook. And it should always reference your references, okay, from either its table of contents or its like certain phases of the game, or like I said, certain action items or whatever. Your references always need to be linked on both sides. So what do I mean by that? If you are if you highlight or italicize, whatever it is, if you do something to a term that you want, like always viewed in a certain way, or you have that important thing that you need to note, then wherever that shows up in your rulebook, it should show the same bold or however you made it important, right? It should show that still. That's my fault. So people know if they're just perusing the rulebook and they see in that on that page or in that section, they're like, oh, I see it's bolded here. I've seen that before. This is referring to this drawing cards action. There's a special way of doing it. Here's what we need to do. So they should always be linked. You link it from both sides. Grammatical errors obviously are easy to spot, but again, the devil's in the details. If you try to word something, again, this is not a novel, okay? You are not making a novel with a rulebook. You should be making something clear and concise for your players to understand. And what I mean by that is make sentences that are boring and it sounds like a second grader wrote them, but they're concise, they're to the point, they make sense, okay? They're just super, super simple. Make sentences that are 10 words apiece and that are you have a whole paragraph of 10-word sentences that's 10 sentences long, right? Instead of a paragraph of 4 sentences that are 30 words long, okay? You're not trying to win a Pulitzer Prize. You're trying to win whatever the game of the year, the Game Geek, whatever it is, okay? And that's gonna come by great production through your rulebook and given any blind playtester or gamer, they should be able to understand without somebody teaching them what they should be doing on their turn, in the game, and whatnot. I've been demoed, I think, probably 10 times this game. And then I just missed that. So yeah, I posted something on Board Game Geek. If any of you guys are making games, wanting suggestions and edits to your rulebook, let me know. You can let me know anywhere, and I'll get to it. And yeah, I'll make a video about it, and I'm gonna start that on actually the main channel. So not this second Rocket League gameplay channel where we're getting destroyed. I'm going to be going through people's rulebooks. I already have 2 actually on my plate that I'll probably get to after this. And yeah, hopefully this is going to be a start. Hopefully this is the start to... oops. And my teammate left, I just realized. To actually gaining some interest just by pure fun, right? Again, it's not everything's about money, but you need the money in order to pursue what you want, right? Sam and I love making games, and I actually love the aspect of starting a business as well. And hopefully we can do something with that. So let's finish up this game here strong. 8-2 down. Come on. It's gonna hit down. Oh, he's gonna keep it up. All right, guys. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching that abysmal game, and see you in episode 3.